I think they can hear you, but
yeah, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Good
You're
evening,
welcome.
sir. You're welcome.
Yeah, my guy.
so I think Tunde, I think you'll be the only neutral person here. We were, I know all of them, and they know me as well. So we know ourselves. We are all colleagues working for Editech, which I know you know about Editech, since you are connected to Fidelity.
Yeah, yes, I do.
Yes, so I don't know if you can just introduce yourself to the group, then I'll take it from there. Just brief one.
Okay, so I don't really know the formality for the introduction, but I'll
just your name, your location, and then why did you join? Who asked you to join? And all that. That's it.
Okay, all right. Good evening, guys. Today is my name. From Oshogbo, Nigeria. I actually heard of this platform through Mr. Fidelis. He works for Editech at PLL. And I'm actually looking forward, to get grounded, or let me say, to get introduced to the basic programming languages.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yes.
Nice one.
So
you're welcome.
Thank you. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Today. Yes, thank you. Oh, okay. Maybe let me give you my Ghanaian name. I'm Selom. Maybe you find that one.
Nigerian with Ghanaian name.
How is it possible? Who give you fellow?
He's a half Ghanaian.
Okay, you're half Ghanaian.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Feel free. Yeah, we learn and joke. Once we are joking, we are learning.
Okay, George, I think speak out. Your voice is very low. If you can.
Okay, right. Okay, that's because my camera. I mean,
I'm talking about George.
My mouthpiece is a bit. Okay.
Okay.
Hello. Is it okay?
Yeah, George, you can speak now. Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I'm doing welcome. But what do you call it? We are just brothers here. So,
all right, sir.
And rule. We learn, we share ideas. Everything goes in, The main objective become somebody in the shortest possible time. That's all. So you're welcome.
Exactly.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
It seems you are back. If you can hear me.
Yeah.
Okay, nice one. We had a new friend. I don't know if you can check the name. You see one Tunde. He just joined, and we asked him to introduce himself. He did, and he's from one of the members camp, Fidelis. I don't know.
Okay.
I think so far that's what he introduced himself, and I think George too has given him what we used to do here. So I think it's all right. We can take it from there.
Okay.
All right, nice one. So today's session, I think today is the second day. This guy is trying to connect. I don't know what's wrong with his line. Isaka is trying to connect. I don't know. But hey, we can continue then. When he joins, I think he can watch the video. I'm recording today. Yeah. So guys, welcome. Today's session is going to be very, very simple. Yeah, and it's going to be very brief. We're not going to like our motto or our saying says JavaScript even grammar, meaning that we will teach you JavaScript or we will teach you web development in such a way that even your grandmother can follow the steps and just go through. Meaning we just teach you very, very basic. We did not get that opportunity because anybody that teaches any programming language thinks you know the fundamentals. So they will just run you through and then you have to find your way out. Yeah. So we decided to bring it very low. Okay. You can go and learn something and come back to the group and teach us. Or we'll proceed with whatever plans that we have. So that is what is going to happen. I'm just referring to the new person here.
All right.
So today, what I plan doing today is introduce you to the first project, or let's say your first file, which which is HTML, markup, and some of the tasks. Basically, I'm taking over today, so you can chip in anytime you see me going off or any contribution that you have. All right.
Hello, please. Can I ask something here?
Yes, you can ask something.
Please, you know, I'm time conscious. So, what time do we have?
You mean what time do we have? Like, I think today we started early.
Yes,
so probably by 40 minutes. I think we'll be done. I'm sure by 40 minutes. If
okay. So we should be very, very conscious of the time.
The time craft different all the time. I understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I think all of you have your VS Code installed, right? Except Tunde. Fidelis, you need to walk Tunde through how to install his VS Code on his machine. I don't know.
We'll do that tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm actually using my sister's laptop. She has VS Code on her.
Okay, perfect. So we will start by just I think it's cool. So we will start by just creating the folder on the desktop, okay, as our main folder where we'll be having all our projects, okay. From there, that's where we will take it from.
Okay, but actually, this is the first time I'm actually working on VS Studio, so I wouldn't even know how to.
Fidelis will walk you through the installation process tomorrow. Probably, yes.
All right.
It's not anything. It's just next thing. It's nothing. Okay. I hope it's fine with you.
Yes, of course. Thanks.
Okay. So we will just create a folder on the desktop and just give it any name. In this case, I'm going to give this name. Or other time, I'm going to reject. I'll give Jack to this name. It's a project. Related projects, okay. So once you have a folder like this, and you have your VS Code open just like this, you can just drag this on top of the VS Code as it, and you have access to the folder just right here. So if you can see, the folder name is just right here, and it's over here too. So whatever I do here, any file that I create here will probably come here too, to still be in this folder, which is very simple. So this is what we're trying to show Isaka in the group this very morning. I think he was having difficulties how to locate his project folder into VS Code. So I think Ken was able to jump on it and solve his problem for him. So that was very nice. So that's it. Just create a folder on the desktop and drag it on top of VS Code, and that's it. You are good to go. All right. He's the one sending some messages here. I don't know if he's finding difficulties. I'm having network issue. I noticed that. Okay, so we can continue, right? Okay. So there's something I wanted to say. Okay. Whenever whenever you have a chance to learn something, okay, even if you already have an idea or you already know, okay, don't just skip it. Okay, I already know this, so I want to skip it. No. Anytime you have a new thing, anytime you had access to anything that you wanted to learn, even if you know, you still have to learn the same thing again and see. You might even get something, or you might even grab something from it, which you even skipped it earlier. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. Yeah, it happens to me most of the time.
Yeah, very correct.
Yes, most of the time when I'm trying to even go back to some of my JavaScript code that I've written, I will just check and say, oh, okay, I made a mistake here. I missed this point. So it's always fine to start afresh. I believe in that. I always want to start afresh, as if with a beginner mindset that I don't even know. So let's see what happens. I don't know if I'm making sense with that.
Yes, you are. Yeah.
Okay. So here's the same thing. We're going to start with a markup language, which is the HTML. All right. HTML stands for markup language. Right. It stands for hypertext markup language. Sorry, it's HTML. Hypertext markup language. When we say markup language, this is the basic markup language for web content. Okay. So HTML is just displaying the content of whatever site you wanted to create. That's why we call it markup. It's just a markup. So just display the content into the web page. So where do we have the web page? Where do we display all this content? It's through your browser. Sorry. So if you have any browser, like the Chrome that I'm using, if I go to, let's say, google.com, okay, all these things are ATM. It's rendering this. This thing is coming from ATM. This thing you're seeing over here, all of them are coming from HTML. So HTML will just pick these, just render them to my page for me. I hope this is something you can just grab. So it's just a markup which display the content of your site. So let me put this one here, and then I'll just go back to my video. So someone is breathing through his microphone. I don't know if you can mute yourself. Then when you want to say something, you can just say it. Why? Or I'll mute everyone. I think it's going to my second screen. Okay, this thing is going to my second screen. Hey, is that you? Are you sleeping?
No.
You see, someone is sleeping. Someone is sleeping, right? Hello.
Yeah, I'm here. I am
I
here.
think you have to Oye Kola, you have to
No,
try and mute your
Yes.
okay, okay,
If you can mute yourself,
okay.
if you want to speak, then you can.
All right,
What's happening to my?
all right. I'll do it.
My second screen is giving me. Anyway, we can just go ahead. Okay, so every website or every web page has a starting point. Okay, that is the what we call index.html. Okay, so in your VS Code, have you checked? If you can check the top, you see new file, and you have a folder. If you want to create a folder, you can just use this one. If you want to create a file, you can just use this one. So this time we're going to create a file. So we call something index.html. Okay. Once you set index.html, once it sees HTML, your browser knows what to do. Your browser is very smart enough to know that, okay, this is HTML file. Okay, so it know how to do it magic to render it onto your page. I don't know if I'm making sense. So anytime your browser sees a file with extension name HTML, okay, whatever content that you have on that file will render onto the page for you. I don't know if I'm making sense. So just pick it up and just render it here. So a typical example is what we're going to do here now when we have our VS Code open and we have this file. Okay. So let's go to the folder and we see HTML file. Once you double click this file, you see your browser picks it. Automatically, your browser will pick it and just tell you, okay, this file is coming from so and so folder. So you see my desktop, and I have a folder called Jack Project, and that is where the file is lived because it's HTML. And this thing is just opened from the browser, not from your usual window, but it's just a browser. I just double click on it and it just opens. So imagine we have any content, the content will just start showing on the screen. All right, because I just named it HTML. The extension is HTML. So once you double click any file with extension HTML, your browser know how to pick it up and just display the content for you. I hope that one makes sense. Okay, but I think this is not the ideal way of building website or building project. Okay, it will be weird for you to have a simple file like this and just manage them because you're going to have multiple files. You're going to have JavaScript file, you're going to have CSS file, and even some images and all that. So how is it going to work? It's going to be very difficult for you to even manage it this way. So there's a better way of approaching this solution. Okay, I mean a better way of dealing in this, which is VS Code give you that ability to have a dummy site. Okay, we call it a development environment server, which is going to help you organize all these files so that it can just render on the page. So it's going to give you, let's say, a dummy website, a web server. So we're going to have a dummy web server, which is going to help you display your content. You know, every website has a certain server sitting somewhere, and all these files are over there. And once you access that server, the server knows that, okay, you want to access this very website, and it just points to this index.html and render the page for you. I don't know if I'm making sense with this. So this approach, creating one file and just double clicking on it for it to display on the browser, is not the ideal way. But as a beginner, you should be able to know that every file, name.html, will just render on your browser. That is it. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah. If you have any, if you have any question or anything, you can just chip in, and I'll just give you the chance to say whatever you want to say.
I just entered into the meeting, so I don't know what you've discussed so far.
Oh, okay. But basically, we just created a folder. You know, in the afternoon, I think you had difficulties in creating that your folder.
Yeah.
Yes. So what I did is just created one folder like this and drag it on top of VS Code, and it's been open here. And I've created one file, which is index.html, which is the root file for every website. If you want to build any website or any project, when you name a file index.html, automatically that file is known to the browser. So once you double click on that file like this, your browser will pick it up because it has an extension, HTML. I think so far that is what we've covered.
Can you start again? How you got this one?
Which one? The file.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a folder on my desktop with a file index.html, so I can delete that file. Okay, it's gone. We don't have this file anymore. And let me close my VS Code. Everything is gone. So let's say if I want to open my VS Code again. Okay. Now my VS Code has no folder. It's not pointing to any folder, right? Now I have my folder on my desktop. How do I point it to point it to this folder from my VS Code? I can just drag it like this and drop it on top of my VS Code, and that's it. I'm inside that folder right here. So whatever happens in this folder is the same thing. I can equally access them from here. I don't know if it's making sense. So I just created a file by using this tab. So this is new file and this is new folder. So let's create a file, which is what? Index.html. Once it has an extension HTML, you see the file is right here. So when you double click any file with an extension HTML, your browser picks it because your browser understands that, oh, this is HTML file and I need to pick it up and just render whatever content you have on that file. And that's it. Saka, are we clear? Isaac, are we clear?
Yes, I'm clear.
Okay, all right. So this is what is going to happen. And I also said that this method is okay for a beginner, okay? But I think there's a better approach, or there's a better way of dealing in such things. We are not supposed to use a file like this because we're going to have different kind of files in this folder, which is going to be our asset, which is our images and our even videos and all that. And our CSS and our JavaScript file is going to be in the same folder. So double clicking on only just one file, it's going to be very difficult for you to manage because in an ideal way, every website is supposed to be on a server sitting somewhere that every changes that you make to the page should like automatically sync, or anybody at all on this planet is supposed to have access to that page, any changes that you make. But having a file like this will be very, very difficult. So one step ahead, I will show you how we can just use a dummy website. I'm sorry, a dummy server, which is part of VS Code. We install a live server, we call something live server, which is inside the VS Code to just render this page. So that will be the next thing that we will do instead of using just a file pointing to just a folder. So if you look at the address, you can see that your file is just pointing to just a folder. Okay, have you seen it? Your file and then the folder name, and on my desktop and my user and then the user's folder. So it's just a file, right? I hope that makes sense. So when we come to an extension, I want us to install a certain extension. Where is the extension? So this is it. Okay, when you check your VS Code, just on the left side, you see this icon, and that's the extensions. So we will install extension called Live Server. I've already installed that, but I just want you to have a feel of it. This is it, which is a dummy server, which is part of VS Code, which is going to help you do all your stuff as if you have a server somewhere and you have your website on top of that server. I hope that makes sense. So we have, because something live server, this is it. You have to install it on your
Okay.
so when you open your extension tab, just type live server and you see this, and you just have to install that. So
Okay.
so after installing this, it's very easy. You just go back to this file and just right click and say open with live server, and it's going to open with a live server. So on your live server, you see it gives you an IP address and it gives you a port number, then gives you the file name. So it's very different from this one, which is just a file. So with this, any changes that you made over here, automatically, once you save it, it will just pops out here, which is very, very easy for you. So it's like a dummy website, a dummy server inside VS Code, giving you the feel of, oh, I have a server sitting somewhere and I'm trying to like deploy my website onto that server. I hope that makes sense.
Sure.
Okay. So we can continue, right?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So now that we have our index.html file, which is by 40 minutes, everything will drop out and we need to come back. I think it's 40 minutes or something. Yeah. I will just notify you if it's, I think 9 minutes, the next 9 minutes, yeah. Everything will go off, then you reconnect, because we don't have the premium package for the Zoom. So normally it goes off, then you reconnect. I think Tunde, I'm referring to you since you are new here. We don't have a premium package for our Zoom application, okay? So I think every 30 minutes, it just goes off, then we reconnect again. I think 40 minutes, every 40 minutes it goes off, then we reconnect again, because we are more than 2. If you are 2, it gives you forever access, all right? Okay, nice one.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Please, after installing the live server,
Yeah,
what happens next?
that's it. You just install the live server, and that's it. You enable it.
I just installed it.
Yeah, have you seen enable? Just open it and you see enable.
Yes, I've seen disable and uninstall.
So once you see disable, that means it's already enabled.
Okay.
Yeah.
They said this extension is enabled globally.
Exactly. So once you open your file and set open with, you right click on it and you set open with live server, it opens, it gives you access and gives you your IP address.
I right click on it.
Yes, the file that you've created inside the folder, and set open with live server, and you have access.
Okay.
Open with live server, and that's it. Okay.
When I right click, nothing happens. So
when you right click on your file, you see open with live server. Open with live server.
Okay, I've seen it.
That's right. Okay.
And then it will open in my browser, B.
That's right. Your browser will just pick it up because it has an extension name, HTML.
Okay.
And your browser will pick it. And when you check it, you see it has given you an IP address and then a port and a file name. So it's like a dummy server that you have with VS Code, which is giving you that kind of.
But it's opened and there's nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing there because yes, exactly, because there's nothing on this file. That is what we're about to do. There's nothing on the file. There's no markup. There's no content. Okay, there's nothing over there. So we need to put something there. We need to start creating our website right from this file. I hope.
Okay, I get it now.
You get it now. Good. So in every
thank you.
Yes. Okay. In every website, this is the starting point, which is the index. Please, I really don't understand. Why my connection off? Sorry. So every website, this is the starting point. Listen, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, nice one. Okay, thanks. So just in case you just have to chip in and just say something so that I know that you guys are around. All right. Okay, so every website we have a starting point, which is the index.html, right? And there is a file that we're supposed to have. After this section, I would like you to go to our site and just go through these last 3 videos, okay? Which Dixon did explain something very, very important, which is the metadata and the viewport and all that, which is very, very important. I'm not going to include that in today's session because I just want you to have a feel of something. I just want to make this thing very interactive so that we all can enjoy something today. But after watching this video, after this section, tomorrow you can just go to the site and watch the last 3 videos where Dixon did explain most of the metadata over there, which is very, very, very informative for you to have. Okay, just in case someone asks you a question or in case you wanted to teach someone to, at least you can just explain to the person, right? Okay, and before we start, I just want you to let you know this. Okay, now because of framework, HTML itself, you don't need to master HTML before you can call yourself a web developer or you can start building projects. You don't need to. At least for me, even the biggest project that I've even built, I've used only 3 HTML tags or HTML elements, which I'm going to walk you through now. Okay, there are so many. I can give you another point that you can go to this place, W3 Schools. Fidelis like to go here most of the time and just go through all these kind of elements after this session. You understand? For now, it will be very confused, but it will confuse you, but let's just go ahead and do what we have to do today. All right. Okay, so every HTML file, every index.html file is supposed to have a certain file on top. I call it the first file or the top file, okay, which is what the doc type. We call something doc type, okay? So there is open and there's an exclamation sign, then you say doc type, then you say HTML, okay? Once you put this very file, this very text on top of index.html, your browser knows that this one has HTML format. So it know how to do it magic. So this is going to be your first text or your first
hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I think you can close the sidebar and zoom in small for them. I think it's very nice.
I think it's okay now. Is it okay? Can you see the screen?
Sure. I think it's okay.
Okay. Oh, thank you. So this is going to be your first open and close tag, which we call it the doc type. I don't know if you can see it very well. There's a less than, there's exclamation sign, there's a doc type, then it has what? HTML. Okay.
Hello?
Yeah.
William.
Yes, I can hear you.
Please, with my extension.
Yeah.
When I open the extension with the install, it is 0, so I can't get the this thing, the live.
When you right click on this file, when you right click on this file, you can't get
this one.
You can't get this one. Open with live server. You can't get this one. I think Isaka.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yes, okay. I'm asking whether you can get this thing.
When I right click it,
yeah,
it is not installed on my laptop.
I don't understand. You mean
that's
if you
live server?
You can't get a live server, right? It's not there.
Yeah.
Okay, so you go to your extension here and let's choose your live server and check if it's disabled or enabled. If it's enabled, click on it so that it will be disabled, meaning it's activated. Are you okay?
Yes, I'm searching for it.
Okay, when you open your VS Code, you see extension. On the left side, you see extension.
Okay, okay, that's open now.
Okay,
Live server.
that's right. If it's enabled, make sure it's disabled. That means it's working. All right. So let's carry on.
Okay, it is written install. So I think it has not been installed. I should install it now.
Okay, that means it's not installed. Okay, so you have to install. If you can see install, then you have to install. Uninstall or yes, so just install from here. You'll see install. Just click on install. All right, nice one. So let's continue from here.
So we can continue.
Exactly. So once you have this top tag over here, there's another tag that we're supposed to have. You see, we have open. We have another tag called HTML. Okay, we call something close and open. So if you can see these, if you can, let me close this one like Dixon said. Yes, if you can open your eyes very well, you will see that these two things has similarity. Just that over here we have forward slash over here. I don't know if you can see. You can see HTML in what less than and greater than inside this tag. I don't know. So we are trying to render HTML inside this open and close thing. All right. So the last one supposed to have what? A forward slash at the back at the back of HTML, meaning this is open tag and this is close tag. But when you look at this one, this is different. This one doesn't have any open and close. It's just one file. But just focus on this HTML. Do you see this the doc which is having which doesn't have a closing? It's just it's not even a self closing, but take it the way it is. That is how it is. That is how Isaka is it. All right, you're welcome. Take it the way it is, and just let's focus on this HTML open and close tag thing. I hope this one makes sense. If you have any question, you can even ask. But it's just open and close. And within this HTML tag, you're going to have two things. You're going to have a head, okay, which is also a tag, okay. We have a head tag, which is also open. This is the open, and you have the close one. Okay, the same thing. So take a critical look at this. We have head. If you have head, then of course we're going to have a body. So the same place. Everything is inside this HTML. Everything is here. In between this open and close HTML. Okay. So we have the head and we have the body as well. Okay. And each of them has open and close. So just look at this one. Open and close for the head and open and close for the body. I hope it makes sense.
Okay, so I think I'll add more to it.
Okay.
I think the first sentence, the first statement that William has written, exclamation mark document type, is just telling you that you are declaring a document of a type HTML.
Exactly.
So that is what you indicated, that you are declaring an index.html text. So before you can write an HTML syntax, you need to tell your VS Code that this document that you want to write, or the structure that you want to build, is of the type HTML. Yes. Now we have an open HTML and a close. That's the first, the second, and the last.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, that's the HTML, the second HTML and the last HTML. It is telling you that you want to declare, once you have an HTML document, now you have to write the syntax in an HTML. So you want to first declare the block of the HTML. It's like the root file, so that you can embed all those headers and those contents that you want to write inside the HTML. That is why this second HTML has a closing and the end. But the first one is just to tell you that you are just declaring as a document of an HTML type.
Exactly.
I think yes.
I think the explanation is very clear. So you just declare that you have HTML document and you have what open and close HTML tag, which is going to contain everything on the page. So whatever is between this will display. Your browser will understand and just render them for you. So it's just a markup, just display the content for me. In between, anything between this HTML, open and close tag, just display them for me, all right? And HTML open and close tag has a header and a body, okay? So in the header, that is where we have a lot of links. That's where we have a lot of links, and at the same time, we have what we call title. So your title of your site will also be here. You understand? And that one too is what open and close. You understand? So let's say we wanted to name our title of our website, my first website. Okay. Once you name your title, my first website, when you come here, you should be able to see it. Let me refresh and see. Yeah, you see that the title has changed to my first website. I don't know if you can see it and capitalize it. And then. Okay, so the title has even changed to what my first website. I don't know if you've gotten the idea. So in the header, we have a title that tells you, okay, this page is my first website, or you can even give another name. So my blog, you can say a blog. Sorry. I can even say a blog page, okay? Right? And you can see a blog page as a title over there. I hope it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can go ahead. So let's come to the body. The body can contain anything. So in most common use HTML tags will be a paragraph tag. Okay, so the same thing. You always open it and close it. You always open and then you close it. So if it's a P tag, inside the body, we have P tag. You can declare P tag, you can add any other ones. But let's start with the P tag, which is also stand for a paragraph. Okay, and you open and you close it. That is most important thing. You open and close. So whatever you type in between these, okay, HTML will see it as a paragraph and just display it over there for you. So whatever I type in here, automatically displays over here. So let's just put, let's copy any text from any website. I think I have Lorem. Okay, we can copy this guy. We call it Lorem, which is just a random text that you need to just use it as a content, just to make your website look okay as a developer, because you don't know what your client wants, but you just have to put a random text over there so that it will look good. I will show you the shortcut later when we progress, but just copy any content and just put it there, and you see, it just displays it as a paragraph for you. It's just simple. We can duplicate this, okay, and bring it down there and say what, and you see we have another one. So the P tag, which is the paragraph tag, will just display the content for you. And by the help of it, is someone saying something? Is someone saying something? All right. So your P tag will just display your paragraph for you, and you can just put as many as you want as for demonstration. All right. And there's another tag called H tag, which is, we call it header. Okay, or heading. I call it heading, H. And we have H1 up to H6. So once you put H1 and put anything over there, like title, let's say title. Okay, you see that it's giving you a different style. So let's make a copy of the same H for the second paragraph. Okay, and let's change this one to, let's say 6. Okay, Let's change this one to 6 and let's see what will happen. We open 6 and you open. I made a mistake somewhere. Sorry. And you can see the difference that this one has a different styling and this one too has a different styling. So in H1 to H6, once you go down, it decreases. So H1 is the highest, which will give you the big title, which will give you the big text. Okay, when it comes down to 6, then it will be very, very small for you. I hope that makes sense. So depending on the number in front of that H will determine the font style it will give you. So let's even change this one to, let's say, 3. Let's make it 3. And you will see that, sorry, it will change. I think that's what we've been thinking about. Okay, difference is too much. Let's make it, let's say, okay. Did you see the mistake that I did? I don't know if you've noticed a mistake. Can you tell me the mistake that I did? I don't know. Apart from Dixon. From here.
I think you did too open.
I did too close instead.
Too close, yeah.
Exactly. I did too close instead of open and close. That's right. So it's taking effect now.
Yeah.
You see. So it ranges from 1 to what? 6. So the first one is the biggest, and the 6th one is the smallest. I hope that makes sense. So all these things are HTML elements. The H1, P, they are all HTML elements, which I recommend that after this section, you can just go to WH Schools and you'll be seeing some of them from here. Sorry. You'll be seeing them from here. And I think you see HTML elements and you'll be reading about these HTML elements, all right? Okay, let me talk about one thing again, which is all of them has open and close, but there are some tags, they are self-closing, okay, which I'll talk about only one for today, which is, let's say, image type. If you want to display image, okay, onto your web page, there's a tag that we use, which is what? Image tag, which is img. But this tag is a self-closing tag. Okay, this image tag is a self-closing tag. Why is it a self-closing tag? Because we will not place anything in between like this. This one has open and close, and we have text in between. But the way we use image tag is different. Okay, we call it picks an attribute, which is what? Source. We call it source. Let me take this thing off before it confuse you. Okay, it takes an attribute. So all the tags has an attribute, and actually one attribute of the image is source. That means tell me where you want me to render the image. Where are we taking the image from? That is the attribute. So attribute SRC, which is source. All of them has attribute. Okay, P tag has an attribute that we can learn later. H2 has an attribute that we can learn later. And if you want to render image, we use a tag called img, which is what? Image tag. And that image tag is self-closing because it takes an attribute. It receives an attribute. The attribute will just pick the image and just display it for you the way you want. So let's assume that we have an image that we wanted to display. Let's go to the site and just pick any image that we think we can get. Where can I get any image? Let's see, web image. Let's try and pick any image from here. Let's see. You can pick this one, right? Let me write it first and see if you can get image. Let's copy the image address. Let's make sure it's correct image. I don't know if this one can display. I don't know. Let me write this one. I want to be sure if, anyway, let's try this one and see if it will work. Oh no, this one will not work. Copy image address. Anyway, let's go to, I have image somewhere. I'm trying to pick any random image from the internet and see how that IMG will just receive that and display it on our page for us. So let me pick one from my site here. I pick this. This one, I'm sure it is the correct image coming from my own site. So let's say we put this over here. Okay. Automatically, it will display an image over here, but the image is huge. Image is huge. So that comes with this attribute again. Okay, it's going to take another attribute. Okay, which is going to be what? The size. So we can say what? Another attribute, which is what? The width. Okay. Which is going to be equal to a string, which is what? Let's say 200. Let's see what happens. You see, just shrink it. Okay. So it takes an attribute of weight or a height. You can even add a height, but there's no need. Once you put weight, automatically pick the height as 200 as well. If you make it 20, it will pick it 20 up, 20 down automatically for you. I don't know if it makes sense. So let's make it 100, and 100 is okay. So you see how we use the HTML elements to display things on our web page. Do you have any question or anything that you want to say before we continue? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Do you have anything to say, or you have any questions?
Mr. William.
Yes.
I think I have something to say concerning how you easily or quickly type your words and your figures. I mean,
which one?
Some of them are abbreviations, and you need to maybe use a shift or a control key to be able to get some of the figures.
Okay, you mean the shortcut keys, right?
Yes, so it will be best as you are just typing, you tell us that before you get to this side, so
yes,
that to make the word.
Okay, if you want to get the shorthands, okay, or let's say the autocomplete thing, there's an extension that I will show you. There's an extension that you need to download. I think one of them will be for Prettier. Prettier will make it it will format the code for you. You can install Prettier. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Prettier. Have you seen this one? Check this one out. This one will just format the code for you. Prettier. Okay.
Okay.
Then there's another one that I will show you later, which is Emmet. Yeah, EMM. That one too is code completion, right? Emmet sometimes. Where is it? This Emmet Life? No. One of them. Okay, but just install that Prettier for the first time. Then there's another one called autocomplete. We call it is it auto rename, right? Auto rename. Yeah, auto rename. This one. Auto rename is very good. You can install auto rename. So anytime you type
between Prettier and auto rename.
Yeah. So when exactly. So when you type, let's say H1, once you automatically complete it for you. I don't know if you understand. You saw what I just did.
Yeah, I understand. I think my own also does the completion and all, but then you know you have to type something before you get the results, like the
So it's like AI. Yeah, it's like AI. So once you start it, it just predicts it for you. So how do you call it? Intelligent, right? Something like that. Intelligent. So once you see H1, it knows you wanted to. It's H1 that you want. So once you close it, it automatically add it for you. So it's intelligent. Okay. But I'm using different one. We call it tab 9. The one I'm using is tab 9.
I think you don't even have to write the less than. You just write H1 and click enter.
Once you put H1 here like this and even tab. Okay, because I'm using tab 9.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm using tab 9. I think I have I remember tab 9, right? I think tab 9. Yes, I'm using this guy, tab 9. You see, so autocomplete AI. So you can install tab 9, which is also very good for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So which of them now is more, or I should just be installing all of them?
Install them, all of them are good. But I use tab 9. all of them are good, but tab 9 is amazing. Right.
Yeah, but you see, like for the starting, you don't have to be
Yes.
overwhelmed with all
Yeah,
this.
for the starting, you don't need to be overwhelmed with all this
The
kind of.
more you do it, the more you find out like how. The more you practice, the more you get to know what extension to install to make your life very easy. Like, so it is not something that you should, but at first you should start writing it on your own so that you know how it feels.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's the reason why I didn't want to introduce you to much of the extension, because if you get there, everything will be very easy for you, and your muscle memory. You know, you're supposed to build the muscle memory, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
So once you build your muscle memory,
this, like by hand, manually,
everything will be on your hand. Exactly.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Oh. Any other thing? Because I think we can wrap up. I think we've learned, I think, some of the tags, and we've learned that we have every tag has an attribute, and one of the attributes for image is the source, right?
Yeah.
And there's another one too I can add, which is it ALT, right? This thing is ALT, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we can put, let's say, a logo for people that will have issue with their eyes. I think if the image is not there, this one is just like if the image is not there, or let's say if there's a mistake, let me make a mistake here. The image is not there, it will just give you that name. You see that alternative, we call it alternative. Okay. So that just in case the image is not there, to give you alternative, it's a logo, so that someone will know, there's a logo over here, but the image is not available. I don't know if you get it. So all of these are attributes. So every HTML tag has an attribute. But today you've learned just 2 attributes for IMG, which is the image tag, has a source attribute, and then a weight and that alternative, right? So today I think we've learned a lot, which I think is good for the day. Dixon, do you have anything to say concerning what we've covered today? I don't want us to go much deeper today because I want it to be like a beginner-friendly thing, so that it will sink slowly. At least if they go home and just practice this and get to know all the tags and at least have 3 attributes on top of their head, I think they can just go to W Schools and start making some of them search by themselves. I think that will even help them.
Yeah. Okay, so I think like in a snapshot of what we've done today, we're trying to say that first of all, you have to first of all declare a document type. That is the first thing that we wrote, right? So for the document type, it tells the VS Code that we want to declare. We want a document type which is an HTML form, right? So then we have to declare an HTML body so that we will be able to write to inject the body inside the HTML. So under the HTML, we got to know that we have 2 main structure of the HTML. We have the header and we have the body, right? So the header just as a header. A header has to hold a title. So the title of your page will have to, the header has to take the title. So when you're heading something, you just write a title, right? So if someone tells you that, oh, what is the header? So just the title that you're going to display inside the header, right? But the header also takes other form, which it is not of interest to us right now. That is the style. It also can take the style, but it is not of interest to us right now. What we need to know is that the header takes a title. That would tell us that this is the title of our page. So that is the blog page. Now, after the header, we have what is called the body. Now, after you've written the title of your document, you have to have a body. So the body, just as is in the HTML, the body contains the H1 tag, the paragraph, and the H2, H3, and the image tag, and other tags that when you research after this section, you get to know a lot of the tags. We have the paragraph, we have the H1, we have the div, we have the I think we have input. Yes, we have a whole lot of, we have the form, we have a whole lot. But these are the basic structure that you have to get yourself familiarized with. right? So when you know this thing, that is when you can build on. Now that we have introduced you to all these things, now you have to have the ability to research and know more about it. So William said we should check out W3 schools.
Yeah.
You can really learn ahead before you even come to class, so that everything that we say here will make sense. So we just have a document of a type HTML. We have the HTML tag, which contains the header, and the header contains the title. And then we have the body. The body contains the attribute, the tags and their attributes. So the H1, the paragraph, and the image, and so forth. So I think this is the basic structure of the HTML that I think when you know of this stage, it will be of a great benefit to you. I think.
Yeah. Very well, nice one. So I think you can, if you can even take a snapshot, you can even use your phone to just capture this one. I used to do that whenever I'm in any session. You can capture this one, and then as you even going to bed, you can just be looking at it. Once you be looking at it and putting practicing them from the, I think it will sync. It will automatically sync. I have this on top of my head. I don't have it on top of my head, but I have it just I have it by typing. Once I look, okay, this is where I have to go. You don't need to memorize every code. You don't try to memorize this code into your head. It's a waste of time to memorize it. You can always look at it. You can just go to W3 schools and just look at them and just pick them from there. I think when you go the example, you see, we have open and close over here. We have the body. Inside the body, we have the paragraph type. So you can just copy this one, okay, and just take it there and just make some edit. Just edit it, okay. There's one last thing that I wanted to say. Dixon, allow me to add it to it so that it should be complete. There's something we call break. Break 2 is just self-closing, right? BR.
Yeah.
Okay, it's also self, you see. So I have a little gap on top of this one. So you can imagine I duplicate this one 3 more times. So say, sorry, I've forgotten my, you see, and you see, the more I have more gap over here. And you see, it's self-closing because it doesn't take anything. Okay, it doesn't take anything. So it's self-closing, like the image tag. In between the tag, it doesn't take anything, it only take attribute. So the same thing, we have self-closing tags and we have open and close tag. So just have that one at the back of your head, that anytime you see HTML tag, don't be confused. If it's self-closing, it's self-closing. You understand? I think we need to wrap up because we have 9 minutes. Any question so that we can wrap up before
Yes. So, but I think once you've mentioned the BR, you have to mention the HR because they are both the same.
Okay, exactly. Yes. So let's do the HR.
Below the title. I think that would be a perfect
so that to be very good. Yeah. Let's put the right title so that to be very good. So you see, it gives you one line on top. At the back, you see, it gives you one line. Have you seen it? So we can at least put 1, 2 over here. So these ones are like self-closing because they don't take anything. They don't take anything. Just there, like break, give me a break, give me a break, give me a break. It doesn't take any content, it doesn't display any content. So it should be self-closing. So just have this 2 thing at the back of your head that we have self-closing and we have open and close. That's it. Right. I think we've built something beautiful today. What do you think?
You know, like with these things, like when you become when you become better and better every day, like you see, you love to come back and look at these things and make modifications to them because these are the basic blocks.
The basic thing.
It might look nice to you, like right now, but the next 3 months to come.
It's nothing for you.
So did I really do this?
What is this? Did I do this? Yeah.
Did I really do this? But when you understand this small concept, that is when you can build on top of it.
Exactly.
So I think it's not scary and it's good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Prince, welcome. I think you are late. I'll do well and just post the video for you to catch up. Okay, Prince.
Okay.
Right. So anything, George, you are here. Isaka, anything, Ken? If you want to add something, if you want to contribute.
The network. Because of the network today, the class has been so difficult.
Okay, I'll do well and just compile the video. I'll work on the video tomorrow. I think tomorrow is Friday. I'll work on the video and just speed up and just send it out. Okay. Now, do you have anything to say, please? If you have any contribution, just share with us. George.
Hello.
Yeah, okay. George, right here.
It's good. It's good. It's good to come back.
Yeah.
All I would say is that the practice brings improvement.
Exactly.
Doesn't make perfect anyway.
It doesn't
So
make
what you have
perfect.
done
It
today,
brings improvement. I like that.
I've seen something. Yes, yeah. Just try to use, the tasks that we have just learned today to build something. Right now, he has built a site today. Example, he has built something, put your image there, put some text around it, introduce yourself to the class. Just do something like this on the website, take a picture, put it in a group so that we know we are doing well.
Yeah.
So that at least what you learned today, you have assimilated, that's entered into you. That when you add any, even maybe you go and search another thing, you just add it to modify. Small. By the end of the day, you see that you have built a whole page and you yourself, you'll be happy you are doing it. So that's what I wanted to add. Let us put an effort and certainly we should be able to build the first thing with this information that we have. I think it's enough for us to do something. So that's what I wanted to add.
All right. Ken, do you have anything to say, Ken? I hope you're not sleeping. Yeah, Ken. Okay. So Prince and Michael. So Prince, you were late today. I'll do and send you the video so that you can catch up from there. All right.
I'm going to expect the video.
Okay. I hope when this guy comes, I think you'll be relieved small, right? When Frank.
Yeah.
When Frank resume, I think you'll be relieved and you can join the class early. All right. Okay. On that note, I think we have to close, right? So Dixon, you have to close us today. You said it all. So,
Hello, sorry.
Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
All right, Michael. Yes.
Please, sorry. Some of us are amateurs. We don't know anything, so
we understand.
Please talk of the attributes. I don't really get it that well. Where you put the image, image source, the attributes, and then you're saying something like alternative and wait. I couldn't.
Dixon will just talk about that one quickly. Yeah, Dixon will just.
We know that in terms of the attributes, assuming if you are a human being, some of your attributes are your skin color, the color of your eyes, your hair, right? These are your nose and all these things. These are the attributes. So you have a hand, you have a nose, you have eyes, skin color, and these are all the attributes of the body, right? You as an object, that is some of your attributes, right? So your attributes, we can use your attributes to identify you, that maybe Georgie has a long nose, Georgie is fair, Georgie has a round eyes, right, and has a white hair. Yes.
I've seen Georgie before. You're able to predict. He's very fair.
Yes. Yes. So when you have an image tag, right, what's the attribute of the image tag are the source. Now we need to put a source inside the image tag so that we get something like of that image. But when we have something of that form, we don't like it in that raw form. It might be big, it might be small, it might be medium, but maybe we want it in a form that we want it to be, right? That is when the width came inside. So we are trying to reduce the image to how we like it, right? So we say width is equal to, we put quotes and we say maybe 20 or 50 or 100 or 1,000. That will show us how big or large the image will be, right? Now, assuming that when you copied the link, you forgot some letter, you missed some letter in the link, right? It will break because that is not the actual link, right? Now, this is not, you see, the image is not appearing. So the alternative is just like, if my image doesn't appear, I want this alternative, the logo, to appear to show that this is what I want to display when the image is broken. There are some pages that when you go onto the page and you load the page, it takes a longer time to come. It will when you're using a YAM phone and when you open the HTML, when you open Google, you see how it displays. It takes a longer time. So the logo will be there to show you that, oh, this is a logo, this is an image, so you know where these things are. Other than that, if you don't bring the alternative, that is what's that picture or what that picture means in our structure. If you don't bring it, there's no sense. So assuming that William didn't bring the logo, you wouldn't have known that this is a logo or this is an image or this is so the image tag contains an attribute of a source that makes us import our image right into our source, like our image. And we have, once you import the image, you can modify the image, that is the width or height. But once you specify the width, it automatically sets the height to the width. You don't have to explicitly say the height is also 150. So once you say the width is 100, it will just do it as 100 by 100. Yes, or 200 by 200 for you. So that is all about the attributes. Now you'll get to know that in our further lessons or during the research, you come across the classes, the classes and the ID, right? You get to know that these are the attributes of the divs and the paragraphs and the spams and all that stuff. So the attributes help us to modify that tag. It is the attribute of the tag.
Just in case the link goes off, that means we've closed. Okay, but let me chip in, please, quickly. When you practice anything, just share with us in the group. Simple. Dixon, please continue. Yeah.
Okay, so I think that is all. The attributes are just the modifications to the tag. So I think that I hope it makes sense to you.
It makes sense.
Ask the question.
Yeah. So Michael, I think you've had enough, right? That explains everything. Yes. That's giving you everything. And make sure you go to WH Schools, and I think you can read further, right? And whatever you build tomorrow, try and share with the group. Whatever you build tomorrow, try and share with the group, please. All right.
I will.
Just in case the link goes off, that means we end the session.
Thank you very much.
All right. Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. So guys, let's end the session then tomorrow. I think Sunday, but we will just continue the conversation continues in the group, right?